got my disco ball. I don't know if y'all can see the lights. Woo! Happy New Year. And it, by the way, it's Happy New Year. Singular. It's only one new year we're celebrating, and that's 2024. It's always controversial with people saying, is it Happy New Year's with an S, or is it Happy New Year? It is Happy New Year. 2024 is here, y'all. Can you believe we are in 2024? Welcome in and tell a friend. This is the very first panel, the very first day of 2024. Welcome to Kendéll Lenice Live. I'm going to turn off. I don't know if you can see. I'm celebrating over here. Let me turn off my disco ball. Okay, my disco ball is multi-purpose, right? Birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you want, Kwanzaa. The disco ball is going on, and we're celebrating 2024. Now, if you've been on this earth in 2023, you may have had the best year of your life, or you may have had the not so best year of your life. But in all of that, lessons were taught and learned if you knew how to listen the way that you should. Everything is not a bad thing. There are still things to be thankful for, grateful for. And if you made it to this next year, come on now, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. We made it to 2024. A million didn't make it, but we are some of the ones who did. And our condolences and our prayers to anybody who's lost someone in 2023, right? But there's so much to be grateful and thankful for. And I have the pleasure of having some amazing guests come on to talk about what 2023 has taught them and what they're expecting for 2024. Now, I'm wearing a shirt that I made a couple of New Year's ago. Anybody that knows me, and if you look on my profile on Instagram, it says God's Own. So this is one that I handcrafted. I painted it, I tie-dyed it, I did all of that. So I had to wear this shirt as a reminder, you know, of who I am, because sometimes life be lifing and sometimes you forget. So I am going to have my guest on. We got a comment already. Oh, Leroy, he is on the panel. Happy New Year, Leroy. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. So let me just, since he done put the post up, that's my first guest I'm going to introduce. He is no stranger to my page. He has been on my podcast. He has been on my talk show. We have done projects together. We have a long-running show that's in its 5th season, More Than Just a Movie, where we break down classic Black films right here on YouTube. So you know Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. I'm not going to call him by his nickname. I'm going to try to act right in 2024. But he is also an authorpreneur, and he is a networking genius. That's what I call him. Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. Leroy, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was on mute. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Again. No, it was the mute button.
Happy New Year, Leroy.
2024.
Happy New Year. 2024. Whatever we was doing in 2023, we ain't doing it no more because it's 2024.
No more. That's right. The door has been shut on 2023. Yeah, right. The door has been.
Yes, the door has been shut. I was in church last night, and he was like, all of that stuff, we having a funeral for 2023 because all of that stuff is dead. It's over, right? We are on to new things, right? So, all right, without further ado, I have the Joy Inspirer, my homegirl from South Jersey, my fellow June birthday a day apart girl. I have sunshine in a bottle right here. Every time she's going to hit the screen or hit whatever, you're going to see some sunshine coming from her. And she went through some things in 2023, but she is still smiling as bright as ever. I had a pleasure of, on my talk show, Kendéll Lenice Live, the inner being interview series. And you guys can catch that on YouTube if you want to know more about Ahisha Kalima.
Hey, how could you not have sunshine after that introduction? Wow. Like, that was a joyful introduction. I appreciate it, sis. I really do. Happy New Year.
Hey now. Hey. Happy New Year. I'm so happy that we made it through, child.
Yes. We're going to be talking about more in 2024.
That's right. And some of you may recognize Ahisha Kalima. We did a Jersey Girls show. I think we did like 4 or 5 episodes. So you can catch those on YouTube as well. We were very transparent on those, talking about some of the things we went through in 2023. So definitely go back and catch that. All right. My next guest, she used to live under a bridge. She used to be addicted to alcohol and drugs. She wrote about it. She talked about it. She has lived 1 million lives over, but God has really shown her grace. She wrote a book to talk about it. You know, she talks about it on all the platforms. I had the pleasure of meeting this woman many years ago at an event where she shared her story. She has been on Creflo Dollar's show and everybody else's show, including mine. So you can also find her on my YouTube channel to hear more of her compelling, miraculous story. Now, this woman is a ball of fire. She will have you cracking up. She is very candid and honest, and I know she's going to talk about what she went through in 2023, and I know she got a whole lot of expectations in 2024. Miss Blossom Rogers.
Hey, girl. Hey.
I already knew. I'm trying to tell you. I tried to warn the people. I tried. All right. Hey, Blossom.
They just got to go with the flow. That's all I know. We in the year 2024. I rhyme, girl. You heard that.
It's going to be like Color Purple. I am here.
Happy New Year.
Right. Happy New Year. All right. My spiritual cousin is up next. We got a chance to meet virtually in the classes in session. It was kind of like a virtual Bible study, but teaching, but not really, but all together in life and learning and growing. And she is a woman of a certain age too. You know, all of us on the panel are over 50, which I'm just figuring out, which is very good insight. Look at me trying to put the panel together with the old folks. I mean, y'all know on this channel, I have all ages, but this was divine because I didn't even realize until I'm introducing you. We're all 50 and over. We are all starting new lives as far as still growing, still learning, still doing new things, walking out of the fear. I'm so proud of this next guest. She is walking out of the fear. And I love the fact that I inspired her a little bit because as an aging coach, it's so important for me for 50 and overs to still live their dreams, still pursue their dreams, all the things that they might have been afraid of in their 30s and 40s, they can still do it in the 50s, right? And I'm so proud of her podcast. She has been so consistent with her podcast, and I'll let her tell you about it at the end of the show. But she is walking into another season of her podcast, and we will finally meet in person this week. as she graciously gifted me with a ticket to an amazing event coming. So she's coming from PA to come to Maryland to come to this event so I can finally meet her in person. Miss Sheila Dunbar.
Hey, hello there. How are you?
Hey, Sheila. I think I'm a...
Happy New Year, girl.
Announcing for Showtime at the Apollo or something. I feel like... Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You know, y'all are amazing people on this panel. We have one more, but y'all are amazing. Happy New Year. Welcome, Sheila.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I feel blessed to be here. I am blessed to be here.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And it was important for me to pick each and every one of you because everybody is on a journey. And like I said, I didn't even realize we were all 50 and over. But talking to each and every one of you, we're just, you know what I mean? It's a lot of things that 2023 has taught you, a lot of things that you're expecting in 2024. So this panel is definitely divine and strategic. Next up, our last panelist. I went to high school with him. We ran track together. He was on the boys' track team. I was on the girls' track team. In recent times, he said that I beat him racing, and that gave him the fortitude to train harder and go harder. I had no idea. He just told me that this year, 30-something years later. I didn't even remember. But he is a track coach to Olympias, to the NFL, to professional athletes all across the country. He is also a track coach, a college track coach, and so much more. He just became a first-time author in a compilation about Black men. This is such a good book. He shares part of his story. He and I are working on a documentary about his life with track, and it's going to be filmed. Ahisha, some parts are going to be filmed at our old high school, Oak Crest.
I know just what you're talking about.
So, right. So I think that that's pretty awesome that in his 50s as well, he is still doing new things. He's still achieving goals. He's still doing amazing things. Let's just, before I introduce him, we have some comments. Happy New Year. Let's see. Happy New Year, everybody. Hey, Kevin. And he said New Year, singular. Valerie, Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2024. Absolutely. All right. Our last and final panelist is Anthony Washington, Coach Doug.
Thank you.
Hey, Aunt.
Hey, Ahisha.
We went to high school together. It's so funny because I wasn't even thinking about that until I'm looking at the panel. I was like, oh, shoot. Ahisha graduated just a year below Anthony and I. And I wasn't even thinking this was, God had something to do with this. I ain't even have nothing to do with this. But welcome, everybody. We are in 2024. Let's just clap it up for getting through. Let's just take a moment to clap it up as we document. Man, oh man. All right, everybody. So I want to know what 2023 has taught you. But before we answer that question, we're going to speak, and I'm just going to go around and I'm going to ask you. So as the last person speaks, I want you to go. And if you see the order that we're in right now, I'm going to start with Leroy, and we're going to go to Ahisha, Anthony, Sheila, and then Blossom. What is the biggest lesson you learned? We're going to go with just one for now. What is the biggest lesson that 2023 taught you, starting with Leroy?
Well, my biggest lesson is actually on my list that I wrote was our language matters, our mindset matters, how we approach things, and just the way in which we see things is the reflection of where we go, how we get there, and what we need to do. So that's the lesson that I learned in 2023.
That's good. And if anybody's on Facebook, it's on my page right now. You can share this to your Facebook community. And if you're on YouTube, you can do that as well. Ahisha, you up next.
One of my lessons was the art of letting go and letting things flow. I started 2023 with that as my motto, and the way that it has manifested itself in this year has been a beautiful experience. So yeah, the art of letting go and letting things flow. That's my lesson for this year.
Whew, that's a good one. Yeah. Me too. I learned that too.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Well, this year taught. Yes, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This year taught me that God is a God of second chances. This year was fulfilled of just all second chances of how things started off in my life, and then how things get an opportunity to turn around 30 some odd years later. Being able to write a book and tell my story, and how many people wanted to hear what it was, that God was really just letting me know that He has not forgotten. He knows my name.
Whew. Anybody else feel that you're not forgotten? That's powerful. Absolutely. Because sometimes life will make you feel like you're forgotten, right? That's deep. What has 2023 taught you?
2023 has taught me, and I think you and I had spoke about this earlier, just before I started my podcast, and it's about doing things scared, and letting me know that this fear that I have, if I don't get over it, I would never have started my podcast. And now I'm in my second season, and I feel so doing it and writing stuff for a whole year, a year and a half before I even wanted to come out and do it, because I was so afraid of what I looked like and how I was going to be received. And you just said, do it scared. And that has been like my motto for everything that I do. I step out on faith, and I do it. And I do things, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. It's like you're invited to a party, and you don't really, you want to go to the party, the life of the party when you get there, but it's the getting there that's the scary part. And for me, is doing it scared, and the fact that now, again, I'm in my second year of my podcast, and I'm loving it, and I'm having a great time.
Wonderful.
Sheila Takes is the podcast, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad that you are doing it scared, because now once you do it scared a couple of times, then you're not as scared anymore the third time, and the fourth time. Every time gets easier, and you're doing a phenomenal job. I listened to it, and I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, do it scared. And as an aging coach, that's part of my mission, to get people, you're welcome, to get people who are older and think that, okay, that time has passed, to show them otherwise. And it's so important to see beyond the scare. Everything I do, when I zip line for the first time, honey, I scream from the top to the bottom. I scream coming up. I scream going over. And I was like, I want to experience this. And I got it on video. Some of y'all may have seen it. I've posted it a time or two. But doing it scared, that's what you have to do. And I'm just so proud of you. Blossom.
I've learned
is one thing that 2023 has taught me.
To stay true to myself, because when I'm true to Blossom, I could be true to anybody else. Not to worry about what people say, who's going to accept you. They're going to talk about you regardless. You know what I'm saying? My great grandmother always said, when they stop talking about you, that means you done played out. So you give them something to talk about. But like she was saying, we gotta do things scared. You know, we have to.
Bonnie Raitt has a song. If you know about country music, he has a song. Yeah. Sorry.
So, like I said, you know, just being. Oh, no problem. And never say sorry, because there's nothing sorry about you, and God wasn't sorry when He made you. Okay, I've learned that too. Words that come out of our mouth, you know. Either we're gonna barbecue or mildew. I don't want to be around people who say we fitna do this. What is fitna? Either we're gonna do it or we not, you know. So that, you know, I'm still a hustle, but I hustle for God now, you know. So like I said, being true.
Love it.
Blossom. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It is what it is. So stay true to yourself. Then you can stand flat footed and look a person eye to eye. If I did it,
stay
if I
true to yourself. So that's what you learn. That
yes, stay true to yourself.
I love that. Ahisha, what do you think? What I'm going to change it. What hurt you emotionally? Share as much as you want or as little as you want. And I'm going to ask everybody, what hurt your feelings in 2023? I'll say it that way.
You know, what hurt my feelings in 2023 is probably not what you would expect. A lot of times we answer that question by saying who hurt our feelings. But for me, it was my perspective on things. It was not looking at myself and looking at others and blaming others for how I feel. So I was hurt my own feelings. You know, a lot of times we get so caught up into what other people have done to make us feel a certain way. And when we embrace that we are in complete control of how we feel. I may not be able to control anything else in this life, but how I feel and how I'm affected is in my utter control. And that's what I mean about the art of letting go and letting things flow, of knowing that nothing has come to destroy me. Nothing has come to tear me down. Everything is for a clarifying moment of learning. So I can just let go and let things flow, let things be as they are and learn as I'm supposed to learn and get my joy as I'm supposed to get joy, and know that I am a blessed deserver of magnificent things, and everything is always working out for me.
Come on.
So I hurt my own feelings, so I had to get over what I had done to myself.
Amen.
Come on. Come on. That's good. Let me just pause on that. You said that sometimes people blame other people and say they hurt my feelings, but you can only allow someone to hurt your feelings. You make the decision whether they are going to penetrate you in that kind of way that's life altering.
And not just that, Kendéll.
When something that was so powerful. That was so powerful.
Yeah. When something does hurt you, you have to look at yourself, right? Like if somebody said to me, Ahisha, you are the tallest person I've ever seen in my life, I would laugh. That's not true. It wouldn't prick me, right? But if they said something that I'm insecure about, you talk too fast, I might be like, oh, that offended me because I believe it. I think I talk too fast. I don't like that about myself. So it pricked me. I'm the one who's hurt about that thing. That person just ignited that feeling in me. It was already there. So the healing has to come from within. If you say something to me that is not true about me, it ain't going to affect me. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be like, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. Something in me must believe it for it to hurt me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you hurt your own feelings.
And I always say this. I put a video out this year and I wanted to debunk it. You know how people say when you get to 50, You don't care what nobody says about you. You don't care somebody's opinion of you. You don't care what they think of you. And I had a twist because I was thinking, I said, it's not that we don't care what other people think about us. It's not that we don't care what they feel about us. We just don't allow it to penetrate us to a place where it changes our whole disposition, our mood, our emotions, our attitudes. And I think maturity has allowed us to look at it that way. Of course, if Sheila said, my breath stunk, I'm going to care what she says. And I'm going to say, you know what? Let me have a mint. Let me have, because that is going to, but I have to, it's not going to penetrate me where my feelings are going to be crushed. I'm going to say, well, can I have a mint? Let me go brush my teeth. Let's find us a drugstore so I can go to CVS or Rite Aid or Walgreens and let me get. It's not going to, whether if I was in my 20s and Sheila might have said my breath stunk, I'm going to think about it all day. Oh my God, everywhere I go, does my breath stink? It's going
You're
to
so
rock
offended.
me in a certain type of way. Right, I would be so offended. Oh my God. I'm like, dang, she always chewing gum. Why she got a toothbrush hanging out her mouth? I'm so offended, right? To the point now, it's like, girl, thank you for telling me. Let me go and take care of this. Does it smell anymore? You know what I mean? And I'm going to keep it pushing. I think really that's the difference. Sheila, yeah. Sheila, what about you? What? Well, whose turn is it? It's Anthony's turn. What hurt your feelings in 2023? What emotionally kind of knocked you off a little bit and you came back?
Me or Anthony?
Anthony.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Sheila. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I did.
The biggest thing I could tell you for me for 2023 was unreasonable expectations on people. And when I say unreasonable expectation, when you choose to want to be with someone, you choose that person and you're expecting certain things from them, you know, and how they treat you, and they don't know how to make that adjustment, you know. And when you're around someone who doesn't know how to make that type of adjustment, what happens is you start expecting things because you have the ability to make adjustments. You have the ability to do things at moments' notice. If it's something that happened, like you just said a few minutes ago, if I got to do something with my breath, brush my teeth. If there's something, I tie my shoes are unlaced.
Yeah.
But when certain people do not know how to make adjustments, you start to have what I call unreasonable expectations on that person because you chose to be around them and they don't have the ability to make the adjustment. So that was one of the things that I had to learn, that I can't have unreasonable expectations on certain people.
That's deep.
That's good. That's good. Now, see, this is what comes with 50 and over, y'all. Y'all better learn. You better get your pad and your paper out, because this is wisdom. If this was 30 years ago, these answers might be different.
They would be. I know mine would be.
Yeah, mine would be too, because my feelings was hurt for every little thing.
Everything.
Yep.
That's everything. True. Yeah.
What about you, Sheila?
Mine, I would say, would be family. I come from a very, very large family, and one of the things we always did a lot was we got together on holidays and things like that. And in 2020, we lost our matriarch, our mom, who
sorry for your loss.
Thank you. She was the glue that we felt like she was the glue that held the family together. And since then, you know, it's like I feel kind of lost because I don't have that communication anymore. And you know, I'll say, you know, I'm 58 years old, and I still, you know, you still want that that, you know, where you can pick up the phone, you call certain family members or certain your nieces and things like that. And I miss that type of relationship that I had, and that kind of, you know, I don't think I'm the only one that's feeling it, but that kind of like hurt my feelings. I felt it a little more in 2020 in 2023. It was really hard because it seemed like there was a little more of a distance in 2023. Um, but you know, we're
Wow.
working at it. But that I think that was one of the main things that kind of hurt me a little bit more in 2023. That I tried to really kind of
And I'm
match.
sorry for your loss. I don't know if I knew.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know that, Sheila. I didn't know that. I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, and again, not only the loss of the mom, but now I feel like I've lost, you know, the relationships that we had, the closeness, and so it's even more of a loss because we
yeah,
don't have closeness anymore, and we're trying to rekindle, and you know, I have brothers that we're trying to, you know, recreate it, but it, you know, we're trying our best. So that was kind of hurt
yeah.
my feelings in 20, you know, hurt me in 2023. Yeah.
Because you lost the glue, the someone who arranged everything, who brought the family together, who
Yeah,
kept the close knit and the tightness of your family.
exactly. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happens a lot when a matriarch, you know, passes, and um, that glue. Because when I lost my grandmother in 2021, we would all kind of make our way there, whether it was going to see her, then we would see each other, or we're going. And then once that person, I can see that because that's even happened in my own family. So I know what that's like. So I apologize for um, that happening, you know, the way it happens. And hopefully, you know, maybe that's your signal or your sign for you to step up in that
Mhm.
space.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. All right, Miss. Yeah, yeah. So definitely pray on that. Think about that. And the baton may be passed to you.
Could be.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, all right. I'm a fan of that.
Mhm. 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 All right, Blossom, how did 2023 hurt your feelings? Like what emotionally maybe through that has taught you something?
One is when people talk at me and not to me. I despise that. But I think the biggest one was, you know, God bless me. My documentary came out 2 months ago, and I didn't have a blood relative there. You know, I've come to realize, and I'm coming to accept it, that some people are still embarrassed of me. You know what I'm saying? But it's well. You know, um, when I was on crack for 19 years, okay, and you know, I could see, you know, because 19 years is a long time to be out there in the
Hmm.
streets, up under a bridge, doing this, doing that. I did everything out there but slept with an animal, and that was just a yet, because if the dope boy said do it, I would have. That's how bad of a I was on crack. But you know, when God blessed me to come from up under the bridge, I see you laughing. uh, I come from up under that bridge,
Because
and
I
to
know,
see,
because I already know, I know your stories, and I know how you tell it.
you know, I tell people all the time, I liked it smoking crack. You know, people talking about I didn't like it. I'm from Florida, so we had that good dope. I don't know what they had, but I had good stuff. You understand me? Because you gotta be real with that thing. Stop making it seem like you didn't enjoy it. I was came off the boat. But I just didn't like the
Wait, y'all
consequences.
see me laughing ahead of time. Y'all see me
I
ahead
love
of
it.
time because I'm trying to give y'all a signal that y'all can laugh because they don't know Blossom. They like, dang, she was on crack.
Yeah.
Should I laugh? Should I say something? She gonna make you laugh, and that's the beauty.
19 long years. I was on crack. Prison number 589931. 14 more days, I'll be 58 years old. 13 grandbabies, 3 great grands, and I'm 19 years clean. You know what I'm saying? So for not to have a family member there to see, because it's gonna be a movie, and I'm gonna be a millionaire. I already tell people, don't forget the name Blossom, because you know what, God didn't allow me to go through all of that for no reason. He didn't allow me to go through it for myself.
Come on.
He allowed me to go through it so I'll be able to help somebody else. You know, being delivered from a homosexual lifestyle, being delivered from a man leaving me for another man. So I talk about all these things because there's nothing I'm ashamed about. But not having a family member there to take pictures with me, or just to sit and see me on the screen, because they're so used to seeing me when I was out there on the drugs, you know. But I have to remember that everybody's not going to be happy for you. And why are you still embarrassed? Is it because of me, or is it because of you? So I'm learning this, you know, because I'm learning this, you know. God bless me. I'm getting ready to go to North Carolina, and when she made my arrangement, she said, Blossom, I put you in first class. I'm not talking about bragging about me. I'm talking about the God that I serve.
Yeah, the blessing.
From up on the bridge to first class. I said, girl, they gonna feed me? She said, yeah. I ain't necessarily, you know. So, but God, I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. Because sometimes people think that I'm soft, but there's nothing soft about me. I choose. Well, the Holy Ghost allows me to be quiet. So I think that's why a lot of people talk at me. But like I said, just having now everybody that was there was ordained to be there. Okay, I've learned that, because I used to look at numbers. They're not showing up, but it's not about the numbers. It's about the ones that are supposed to be there.
Right.
So I thank God for everyone that came and showed up.
I had to learn that. I learned that lesson.
Yeah, you know, my first fundraising event. You know, this ain't nobody here, but everybody that's there has been ordained before time, before they were in their mother's womb, was going to be there at that documentary. And then just seeing myself up on the screen, not no wanted picture or no warrant for my arrest, but up on a screen where, God bless it, people gonna see my story. You know, so. You know, so that just expecting God to be who He is.
That's right.
So that's it.
That's right. That's so powerful. And I had to learn that. I'm trying to think if I learned that in 2023, 2022, still learning that. And I'm comfortable with it now. I used to be like that because, you know, I've thrown conferences, workshops, events, all of these different things that I constantly do. And you focus on who didn't show up.
Yeah.
Instead of celebrating the people who were meant to be in that space, whether it was 2 or 200.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that too. You know, years have taught me that. Stop focusing on who did not show up and celebrate those who continuously show up for you.
That's right.
Right. Can I say something to
changer
that?
for me? It was a game changer for me because you want to take, you don't take it personally because you understand, but at the same time, you're like, oh man, and the people that are there, you like, oh, but this one didn't show up, that one didn't show up, and it's like you're disrespecting those who showed up for you.
That's right.
Yep.
Right.
It's so important to recognize and acknowledge who is there, because those are the people that were meant to be there. And focus your energy on those who showed up and not telling the people who showed up who didn't show up. It's like in my child, I'm here, but you show up. And I had to learn that it was a game changer. It was because then you can give all your energy and your attention to those who are there to support whatever it is.
Right. can I say something, Kendéll? To
you
that,
sure can. And
you know,
thank
keep
you
in
for showing up for me.
no problem. I love to show up for you, girl. But I want to say that, right? So I have Kendéll as a friend who has a podcast, and I must have like online 30 other people who are launching businesses, starting podcasts, starting this show, going live every day, right? I can't keep up with everybody. I can't support everybody. I can't be there for every live, right? And it's the same thing with your family. People have things going on in their lives. And although this is something that's monumental to you, it may not be monumental to them in their life and their perspective of what's going on in their world. So I learned to not get caught up into whether people are supporting me. Like Kendéll said, the ones who are meant to be there will be there. And it's no chagrin on who wasn't there because they were handling something in their world, doing something for their life. It doesn't mean it's personal against me. You have this amazing story blossom and the world is going to hear it. Your family's going to hear it. Everybody's going to know it. And don't always assume they're embarrassed. Maybe it's a totally different reason why they weren't there and had nothing to even do with you.
No,
That's the part.
no.
It may have nothing. I don't know if it did or it didn't. You know what I mean? But until you talk to each individual person, but sometimes, like Kendéll said, we can get so caught up on who wasn't there that we miss the blessing of who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to hear the message, who was supposed to hear your story at that moment.
Thank you.
Yeah. And but that's right there is a lesson for everybody to learn because of Blossom's trauma, because of her past, her hurt and her pain, the things that she dealt with and went through, and people being embarrassed, that could be something that you're carrying still with you, unbeknownst to you. You know, because like Ahisha said, it could be that they weren't embarrassed, right? It just could be that it wasn't, and then don't take this the wrong way because I'll keep it 100, that it wasn't important to them to be there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean your event lacked importance.
Right.
It's time to re-strategize and reframe the way you think and not even speak that into it. Because if they were embarrassed, that's something they have to deal with. You're onward and upward, right?
Right.
So we don't speak about what they were embarrassed were or what it was. We don't even think about that because we already know sometimes it be your own family, right? So your family is who God has for you sometimes in that space where you need them the most. Had your biological family been there, it could have been embarrassment. It could have been said, but she's still a crackhead, even though you're clean for 19 years.
Yeah.
Because some people cannot see you past where they met you or where they were hurt by you.
Or that they hurt you.
Past that. You get what I'm saying? So onward and up. Right. So 2024, we're not talking about who wasn't there for Blossom and who didn't show up and what your family might think. We're onward and upwards. Who are there for you, who won't be there for you. No more talking about that. I was in church last night as the new year. I was in church last night when the new year came in, right? And pastor, just give me 1 second. I want to say this, and then Sheila, you got the floor. And I heard 3 young girls outside, like, because 2023, it was so much drama and trauma, and they were talking about all of the things that happened in 2023. I peeked in, I said, it's 2024 now. We ain't talking about that no more. And they was like, you're right. We're not talking about that no more. Because that is gone. If you're talking about it, then you're still keeping it alive. And one girl was like, oh no, I was just saying. And the other girl was like, she said, I'm not talking about that no more. And then it clicked to them. They were young. They were like 20 something. And it clicked. They were like, nope, we're not talking about it no more. Because the more you talk about something, the more you breathe life into it, the more you keep it alive, and the more that's going to affect you willingly or non-willingly, right? But go ahead, Sheila. I just wanted to say that.
No, I was gonna say, sometimes it's just not for them, and I had to learn that also because with my podcast is geared to a certain type of audience. It's inspirational. It's about um, what God can do for all of us and how He's in our lives, and we may not even realize it, and how He takes us through so many things and so many journeys, and it's always for someone's glorification, for someone's testimony. And I have family members who will say, "Well, I haven't listened to the podcast." I'm like, "Well, why not?" "Well, that's just not what I'm into." Okay. I'm not offended. At first I used to be offended, but I'm like, but that makes sense. I'm not going to listen to something that I'm not going to be interested in. It's not something that piques my interest, or something that I'm not interested in it. So it could be so many other things when you're saying that they didn't show up for you.
Right.
I mean, it could be something that they just don't, it's just not something they want to, unfortunately, they want to do, or it's not something that they're interested in, even though, like Ahisha said, it may be important to you, and with family needs to show up, but to them, it's not that important to me. This is more important. I love Blossom. I love her, but right now I can't support her in this way.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that story may hurt them.
Yeah.
Less.
Yeah.
It's just that what right now what my podcast is about is not where they're at right now. They're not. It's not where they're at.
Yeah.
Well, what I want to say.
Yeah. And what all of us have to learn and continue to learn is, just because we would doesn't mean someone else would.
Right.
Well, in the past, stuff like that would make me want to go get high, or I felt, oh, woe is me. But today, when things like that happen, it just pushes me even harder. So let me put that out there. I'm not feeling sorry for Blossom.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, back in the days, I would have allowed that to stop me, and I would sat in the corner licking my wounds. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So let me straighten this out, because that's not going to stop me, because I know I have a calling on my life, and when I stand before God, I'm going to be accountable if I don't complete what He has told me to do, you know. And so telling my story is going to help other people to come from up on their bridge. Because everybody got a bridge. Your bridge might not be mine, and mine might not be yours.
Absolutely.
But we all got a bridge. So when I went through that there, I had to either barbecue or mildew, and I feel like barbecuing. So let me reframe this.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
I got the barbecue or mildew.
Yeah. It's a lot of blossomisms that you'll learn. It's a lot of blossomisms.
Oh, for sure.
I love watching somebody experience Blossom for the first time. I love it, because she's such an amazing woman with an amazing story and a beautiful personality. We don't ever speak without Blossom telling me she loves me.
Amen.
I didn't know anybody loved me. I know Blossom every time I speak. She says that. Her personality, and you guys got to watch the interviews with her, not just the ones I did with her, but all of them. Aurelia says, barbecue or mildew. I love
it.
And she has so many, so I love watching people experience Blossom for the first time. Look at even Leroy. Look at Leroy. I see you, Leroy.
That's a t-shirt right there. That's a t-shirt.
I'm looking at all of you. Right. I got you. I'll make it for you and send it to you. Sheila, I'll make a t-shirt and send it to her. You already know that. I got you for a t-shirt, Blossom. I got you. But I'm just looking at all of you, and even if I just act like I don't know you, right? And I go by your social media posts, post, because we're in an age, let's keep it real, with social media posts, I can see the maturity and the difference and the consistency and the dedication and the thinking. I can see the differences in your social media posts as the years progressed, as 2023 progressed. What you're talking about, how consistent, how confident. I can see the differences, excuse me. So just know that even somebody who knows you or doesn't even know you, your lights are shining through what you post. And I can clearly see it's intentional. Even with Ahisha, you starting, pole dancing for exercise after 50. You know what I mean? And not in a space where, seriously, not in a space where you're doing it for a living or you're doing it for a man.
Nope.
Or somebody else, but you're doing it to show yourself love and to get comfortable with you and your body and how you are. And I think a lot of times with women, it's difficult to embrace all of you and your bodies and to be able to do that and to inspire other 50 and overs. Ahisha, and then I want to talk to Leroy and Anthony so you guys can think, what has 2023 taught you as a man? So think about that as Ahisha talks about that journey to self-love in 2023.
So I'm gonna start that answer off with what my motto is for 2024 and explaining what that means, right? Because I said in 2023, I was really big on letting go and letting things flow, but it was also about me. Like, I didn't know how that was going to open up, but I knew 2023 was about to be this journey that was really a selfless and selfish journey. If that makes sense. And I don't mean selfish in the way that the world thinks of selfish, but I mean in the way that if you can't love yourself and you can't honor yourself and you can't take care of yourself and you can't have unconditional love for yourself, you cannot give it to somebody else.
Right.
So that's what I mean when I say 2023 was about me, was about falling in love with the true me. So in 2024, I want more, right? And so more of what? I want more of all the good things. I want more enlightenment, more spiritual well-being, more physical well-being, which is what my focus is going to be for this year. And that's how I got into the journey of pole dancing. When I was younger, it was something I always wanted to do, but it had that risque factor. You were doing it for money in a club or something. And then pole fitness opened up. And it has completely changed my life in the sense that it has kept me in touch with the woman in me. And when we get to a certain age, that becomes so much more difficult because we can get in our heads about what society says we should look like. And we've had children and I'm a grandmother now. And what is the grandmom supposed to look like? Is she supposed to be, cuddly wuddly? Is she supposed to be sexy? Being out there in the dating scene. Oh my goodness, a man is going to see me at 50 and not at 20. We have I don't know about men, whether they have to worry about that stuff, but women, we worry about that stuff. So pole fitness was something that got me in touch with my inner strength. It taught me that I'm so much more physically strong than I ever imagined that I could be. It puts me in touch with my sexuality and my feminine self, all of that. So that journey has strengthened me, and it is going to propel me forward into wanting more for 2024 and being physically stronger and looking the way I feel on the inside, which is absolutely phenomenal. I feel phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I want to look at it.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And so if you guys want to check it out, it's 192 Foxy Roxy. If you want to see a 50-year-old pole dancer do her thing.
And when she sent it to me, and she said, I'm having trepidation on whether I should post this, right? Yeah. I don't know. And that's the thing. And we're going to talk to the men to see if they feel this way. But that's the thing with women. We don't want to offend. We don't want to look like this. We don't want anybody to judge. And she had trepidation, like, she showed me. And I was like, girl. And she was like, I don't know if I'm going to post it. And
I got children,
I got children. She didn't want to. And, I was just saying, you got to think about what you want to do, right? Because if this is something that inspires you as 50 something, then you truly are going to inspire someone else that's 50 something. Now you might have 2, 3, 11, 20, 500 people that'll be like, oh, why is she doing that? She a mom, she a grandmom, she's
not
this.
a one.
But you have
Not
to
a
feel
one.
safe and comfortable enough to do that. And
Yeah.
you create, right. I was gonna say, but those are things that you have in your mind, right? Then when
Yep.
she posted it and created a page for it, I see nothing but positivity and encouragement in the comments, right?
Yeah. And Kendéll, whenever I share with a woman that's over 50 that I pole dance, when I first started doing it, my expectation every single time that they would say something like, oh, how can you do that? Or I could never, or, you know, something negative. 100% every woman has not only lit up, but where can I do it? How do I get started? What made you get it? Like their reaction is so positive and so encouraging and so like powerful for them. Like, it's like, I want to do that. Like, I was so amazed at how many women have thought about this and dreamed about this, and we have let society make us go, oh, well, you know, no. So I love that I'm a light to that. Like, yeah, you can do this. And my inspiration is a 76-year-old pole dancer.
I told Ahisha, I said, I'm going to come to the class. I don't know about posting it and all that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm going to come and try. Years ago,
It's so much fun.
If you guys remember Dance Fitness, it was something. In my job, I worked for a nonprofit, right? And it was just consist of women. We went to a chair dance and a pole dance exercise class, right? So, and it was just exercise. So this was years ago. Let me tell y'all something. Shout out to all the ones who do it professionally or for fun. I went to go try to do it. Man, you need so much upper body strength in your arms. I tried and I was like, oh man, like I couldn't really do it. But I would love to, you know, support Ahisha. I told her and tried to, you know, come to her class and all of that. But I want to talk to Leroy and Anthony. 2 questions. A question that I asked you, and let's talk about what Ahisha said. She said, I don't know if men feel this way. So in 2023, has anything tested your manhood, or what has 2023 taught you about your manhood? And then we're going to go on to ask, do you guys feel insecure about your bodies? So we're going to start with Leroy and then Anthony. So all of that, the floor is yours.
Well, I'll answer the second one first about do you feel insecure about your body? And no, because I'm intentional about how I treat my body. One of the things that I do, I've been intentional about making sure that I eat right, that I exercise and do those things. And that started even a couple of years ago, even before then, but I got back on track, I should say, because I wanted to be purposeful in getting, you know, making sure that I stayed and maintained the weight that I wanted to be at. And I wanted to lose some weight. And I was just like, all right, I'm just want to start back walking.
Somebody can turn down.
Yeah, I think somebody has an echo.
1 second. Somebody can turn down. It sounds like a TV or something in the background. If somebody can turn that down or maybe mute it,
or mute.
It's an echo. Somebody has some background music, noise, or mute. Yeah, or mute it. I don't know whose it is. You guys hear that? If somebody has background like a TV, or if you could just mute it.
A phone,
okay, go
something.
ahead, Leroy. I'm not sure who it is. I'm not sure who it is, but I can hear it.
Kendéll, it's when you talk. Somebody's speaker's picking up. Every time you talk, we hear it.
Do you have 2 devices on, Kendéll?
No, I hear it when Leroy is talking. I hear it when Leroy is talking too, so I'm not sure.
Somebody has another device that's picking it up, maybe.
Yeah, because I hear it when you're talking, Kendéll. Because I just heard it too when I was talking too, so I don't know if I don't think it's mine, because I have everything turned down. And intentional about that, but
Does anybody have more than one device on?
Yeah, let's see.
No.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's gone. I still hear
Yeah,
it.
it's only when you talk.
Yeah, I don't know what that is because I
Yeah,
don't have anything on.
I had mine muted. Yeah, I had mine muted.
Yeah, and I got mine
I can
turned
hear
down
when
too.
everybody talks, but that's okay. Go ahead. I just make sure they hear you.
Yeah, but no, what I
Yeah.
was saying about
But
and
go ahead, Leroy.
what got me back walking again was one of my business associates. She's a fitness trainer, and she did this challenge. She did a 30 day 30-minute walk challenge. So when she did that, I was like, yeah, I can do that. I've been wanting to get back, exercising and everything again, or at least that part of it, walking. And so I started doing it because I knew where I was going to be walking would be 30 minutes up and 30 minutes back. I was like, it's an hour. I was like, I can, I can handle that, do that. Started doing that. And this was a couple years ago. Started doing it a couple years ago. And within that first year, I got back down. I got down to my ideal weight that I wanted. I dropped the 15 pounds. And it was just from doing those simple things. Making sure that I eat right, drinking water, and walking. At least 5 days. I do that 5 days a week. That's simple. And I was just like, because I wanted to be intentional since since I am older and I knew I was getting old, I'm like, I have to be intentional about how I treat my body, the things that I do, that I do with my body. So no, am I ashamed of it? Absolutely not. Because I try to, I ain't saying I'm the most fit person, but I'm at my ideal weight and I do the things that I want to do as far as my body being in good shape and in good health. So know about that. The second thing is you asked about what did 2023 teach me about being a man, or I think you also said what did I feel hurt by, and this goes to one of the lessons that I learned in 2023, that there was no place that address the issues, or no person, people, or organization that address the needs of adult Black men. And I happened to connect with a brother this year that he has an organization, and I'm work with him now, and he has a phenomenal book. And the name of his organization is called Remain. And it's the only place that I've seen that address the issues that we as that adult Black men, that we address them in that organization. He has this whole program, this whole thing that we deal with and that we do with Black men that address those issues that have to deal with us directly. I found that out this year, because everything, there are other organizations and that deal with some aspect of things, but this one organization, this one book, this one book that he has, this program that he has, it addresses every issue that we have as adult Black men. That's us or us as Black men, but then also those systems and systems and agencies that hinder us from being who we are as Black men. So I learned that in 2023. Can't say I learned that this year. I learned that in 2023. So it's been an eye opener, because I never thought of it in that perspective. That there's
Yeah, that's good.
nothing that talked about, that addressed the issues of adult Black men. There are plenty of things for women, adult Black women, young boys, young girls, but there's nothing that addresses the issues of adult Black men. And he even told us one time, and I remember him telling us, having a conversation, he even asked a councilman, when a person that was running for a position where he lived at the time in Delaware, and he said, "We understand you're running for this position." He said, "But what's your platform for addressing the issues of adult Black men?" And he said, "We don't have one."
That's
I was like,
terrible.
"Wow." I said, "Wow." So that was the big lesson that I learned. And last thing, Kendéll, and then I'm finished. When I went to Kihancha, Kenya, this in 23, back in September, and I'm over there, and I'm doing a class for the men there, and I had this brother come up to me, and he said, Doctor, I don't feel like we as men are being heard. I don't feel like we're being listened to. And it hit me like a ton of bricks that this thing, and I came back and I told Donald, I'm like, bruh, this thing is bigger than just here in the States. I said, this thing is global. That Black men feel as if they were not being heard or seen. I was like, wow. So that was the big lesson that I learned this year, or like in 2023.
That's powerful. I just want to say, I know Ahisha has to go, and we're going to wrap up in about 15 minutes, but Ahisha has to go. Ahisha, everybody say bye to Ahisha.
Bye. It was such a blessing to meet all of you and hear your stories. I was very motivated.
I want to ask you before you get off quickly, then I'm going to go to you, Anthony, and then we're going to wrap up in 15 minutes. But Ahisha, what are you expecting for 2024?
More. And when I say more, from the perspective of abundance, more of everything I want, more being in alignment, more joy, more peace, more money, more health, just more, and knowing that I deserve it and that I have the universe's undivided attention and full consideration, which means all possibilities are open to me. So just more in 2024.
That's my motto too, more for 2024. So absolutely. All right, Ahisha, love you, girl. We will connect soon. You know, maybe I'll come join you. You can show me what you're doing. Maybe we could do a whole
tour with me. Yes, I invite all of you. Blossom, all of you. Come out. It's an amazing experience. Really, truly is.
I'm going to bring my camera and lighting, and I'm going to do a docu-series. Don't play with me.
I'm down for it. You already know I'm down for it.
I may have to start on a Telegram poll.
All right.
Listen, you get started where you are. That's the thing about pole dancing. You don't start as an expert. You start where you are, and every day you're better.
And I probably have a lot of splendors, but I'll get to that pole.
He said a telephone pole. She said
a telephone pole.
She have to start with.
It's a process.
Absolutely.
In 24.
Listen, my starting videos are hilarious in comparison to now. So trust me, it starts out like that. It starts out with you just learning how to walk in a pair of shoes.
Ahisha, you ain't get it, but she said because she said she's a little thicker, so she need a big fat pole. That's what she said. She can't do the little pole.
That part, because I have a little more.
Listen, the less pole, the better. The more body, the better. The more of you that sticks to that pole, the better.
Thank you.
I love y'all. Have a great year.
You
too. All right, Ahisha, I know you. You too. I know you.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
I will.
All right. Okay. All right, Anthony, you're up next, and then I want to hear from everybody as we wind down. But as a man, what has 2023 taught you? What was your biggest lesson?
Well, the biggest lesson was, I would say the biggest lesson I would say was more or less radical acceptance, of what I've been going through throughout the year. And, Leroy was talking about a few minutes ago about weight and things like that. And the one thing about me is that this year has taught me I can just say a whole lot of focus. Because, with me being a coach, me being a mentor and, co-author, is that you're constantly looking at who you are, and has this year been productive in what you're trying to do? What is your voice? What are you trying to say to everyone? And the one thing that I can remember, and I was playing this game with some friends of mine, and all of a sudden it just shifted into this incredible amount of focus. And I just remember God told me something about that. And I remember back in the first time I read it, the Penn Relays was 19, I think it was 1990, 1991. Can't remember what it was. And I ran in front of 51,000 people.
No, we
I
did. It
wasn't
was
looking at the
89.
people.
It was 89 when we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Mm.
look at the people. I was so focused on what I was doing, nothing else mattered. You know what I'm saying? So what I learned was even with exercise, my body, it's like I gotta say, well, I gotta lose this weight. No, I don't. I gotta be focused. And being focused, the weight comes off. Being focused, you eat the right things. Being focused, you do everything you're supposed to do because that's who you are. So when I look at what 2024 has done, is put me in a position to tell that this year is a year of no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the things of no matter what and how you approach the year of of this, and say, you know what, no matter what, I'm gonna finish my full autobiography. No matter what, I'm gonna finish my documentary. You know, no matter what, I'm gonna take my athletes to an All American and go to the Olympic Games. And you just focus on that one thing. And it doesn't pressure you what people think. It doesn't pressure you what everybody has to say about you, or are you at the right weight or not at the right weight. Because when you lock in and set your mind on one thing and do what is the right thing to do, then this year will be a phenomenal year. This year will be a prosperous year. And you'll do everything that you say you were going to do because the focus is there. The no matter what is there. And you just stick to itness. And that's what pretty much has put me. It's changed my mindset as a man.
That's good. That's good. I love Leroy knows that and I'm going to do it again. I had a whole panel of black men and Leroy was a part of this. Leroy, what was that, like 3 years ago? I think it was during COVID. I think it was about 3 years ago. And I did a whole panel. I did a whole panel of black women, right? And what we need and what we expect from men and from other wives, right? Then I did a panel of all black men to tell their concerns and their issues and to be able to have a platform for them. And then I merged the panels together on another show. Man, men and women were crying on there. Leroy will tell you it was so powerful. And I definitely want to do that again. Leroy can talk a little bit about the panel. And I want, and after Anthony, I want you to finish your thought. But Leroy, I want you to talk about why it's important to hear you guys, right? Because as women, we always talk about and never have a problem with sharing. Well, I can't say never have a problem because some women do have a problem sharing with other women, but we're a little more open with our feelings, as people may say. But men emote too. Men have feelings, and men are expecting and have gone through things. So I love that you guys shared that. But why do you think it's important? And then I want to come to Sheila and Blossom, and then we're going to end. But Anthony, you can continue, and then Leroy.
Um, the one thing about it, as far as when you look at relationships, when you look at how you feel as a person, when you take and you accept radically who you are as a person, you know, um, you don't have to try to prove yourself to anyone. But what you can do in a relationship perspective is make adjustments. You know, having the ability to make certain types of adjustments in your inner circle, in relationship, in coaching, all the things that you're doing. When people look at you, this person is focused. This person believes in who he is as a person. This person has the ability to make adjustments in any environment that they're in, and you just do it. And when you're doing it, you're not thinking about what you cannot do. You're not thinking about who you're not, because this year of 2024 is that it's already started, and you already have a belief system. And the thing is now it's about finishing what you started, you know. And that's where I have become, and that's where I am today.
To finish what you start. So 2024 for you is about finishing what you started and taking the lessons from 2023 and just upping the ante when it comes to what your expectations are. I love that. Leroy, if you can continue, what are your expectations for 2024? And what do you think about having another men and women's panel to talk about issues? Because that's what I want to be open more in 2024 and have that dialogue, because I feel that's how we grow and be better, you know?
No, I think it's a phenomenal idea. I think that that is something that is it's needed. It's not done, it's not done nearly enough or as it should be. And it goes to, and I was thinking about I believe it was the young lady Ahisha. She was talking about when she was doing the pole dancing class and how she was hesitant because of what she thought that society was going to think, what she thought of family and all those other people. But then when she started to share about her doing it, how the other women felt about doing it. Oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, I wanted to do that. And here's the thing that happens when we're not afraid to tell our story, when we're not afraid to share those things that make us who we are and everything like that. We get, and I tell the author clients that I work with this, what you do is you free others to be able to do what it is that they wanted to do through that they saw you do. It is so true. And it's the same thing for us as men. When we can understand that the things that we were taught as young boys, part of that was the miseducation of us as men, not to share, not to be emotional, not to do certain things when it came to us. And what happens when we share how we feel, or the things that we need to share as men, and understand, like, bruh, no, you're supposed to have emotions. You're supposed to have that kind of understanding. And what happens is when you share, you allow another brother to understand, yeah, that's okay. It's okay. So my expectation for 2024, my mantra for 2024 is unleash. From a business perspective, is unleash your entrepreneurial excellence. That's what I do with the entrepreneurs, leaders that I deal with. Unleash your entrepreneurial excellence. But for others that are talking on a personal side, for me personally, it's about unleashing who I am as an individual, whether it's spiritual, cultural, emotional. Unleash what I have inside of me. What am I doing to unleash who I am as the man that I am? And doing that each and every day, each and every day, even if it's just 1%. Anybody that's listening to me say it's 1% each and every day that we get better. That way,
1%.
better at the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. So your only goal is to be better each and every day, so that by the end of the year, you can look back on 2023 and you can say, am I better at the end of 2023 going into 2024 than I was at the beginning of 2023? And now that we're in 2024, how is it that I can be better by the end of 2024 than I am at the beginning of 2024? And what does that look like each and every day?
Yeah, I love that. So Aisha's word is more. Leroy's is unleash. Blossom, what are you leaving behind in 2023? And what are you expecting for in 2024? And we just all want to go to the premiere, everybody on here, of your documentary, because we want to support you. And I'm speaking for everybody. We want to come. Don't let me get no bus. And we picking up people so we can come to your premiere, because we all want to see it. So what is your word for 2024? What are you leaving behind in 2023? And what are you expecting in 2024? Take it off of mute. You're on mute.
Well, in 24, I want a closer walk, getting closer with him, because when I'm closer to him, then I can hear better. You know what I'm saying? I want my spiritual ears to be open more. I want my spiritual eyes to be open, not seeing things through the natural. And what I'm leaving back there is just let people be people. Like he was saying, each day change something. Well, I used to have dreads, so now I'm dealing with that girl called alopecia, so I can't put my hair to one side, you know what I'm saying? But it's just about just letting people be people and not allowing them or what they say or what they do or what they don't do to affect me, and just fine-tuning my ears so I can hear what he's telling me to do. Just because my steps are ordered by him. But sometimes when we take our eyes off of him, we go to a side, So I want to put on, like what the horse has, I want to put that thing on so I can just look straight forward and just continue to keep
the blinders.
Yeah, because 3 years I'll be 60 years old. I don't want to die and have never lived. That's what I tell a lot of people. I don't want to die. So just getting closer to him so I can hear.
I love that, Blossom. Whew. So your word, what's that one word? Closer?
Closer.
We have
closer.
More. We have unleashed, closer. Sheila, what are you leaving behind in 2023, and what are you expecting for in 2024, and what is your word for this year? Because I give a word every year. I give a word that I'm going to manifest and pray on and live that year. What is your word, and what are you leaving behind, and what are you expecting for 2024?
Well, I'm going to say 2023 for me was a breakthrough year. I was able, I broke through a lot of the barriers that I put up for myself. I broke through the fear and being afraid and doing things that I never thought that I could do. I did more for myself. I think it was Ahisha who said, she did more for herself. I was in a year of no last year. I didn't do anything that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go around pleasing people that I didn't want to do anymore. I was in that year. I took back my health. I was 235 pounds. I was about 60, 70 pounds last year, in 2023. I got back into the gym.
Let's just stop and acknowledge that. Let's just stop. I don't like the way you just skated over that. That is like a huge feat. Let's pause in that moment and celebrate the small victories, which are large impacts in our life. Let's give her a hand for that, for real, because that's a lot of dedication. Yeah. That's a lot of hard work. So I want you to pause in that and be grateful, be thankful, be proud of yourself. You know what I mean? Thank God, because you did it naturally. So just don't, make sure when your focus is there and it's something that you defeated and something that you struggled with or something that you beat or that you're a goal that you accomplished, we got to stop for a moment and just pause in that. And for you to really be proud of yourself. You just skated over that. You said I lost 60, 70 pounds. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You lost a third grader.
Yeah. And I am very proud of that. And I've learned to do a lot of things differently in this last year that going into 2024, I've decided, and I told my husband, we were talking last night, I said, 2024 is my breakout year. I had the breakthrough year in 2023. 2024 is my breakout year, where I'm coming out of my comfort zone and I'm going to start doing things that, that I've never done before. Now I'm in the year of yes. I'm going to say yes to things that I normally would have said no to because it made me feel uncomfortable. So that's what I'm going to do. And I was watching a video with Dr. I don't know if you know Dr. Yvonne Thornton, and she wrote the book The Ditch Digger's Daughters, and she was like the first Black woman in the United States to become board certified for maternal fetal medicine. So she's really, she's amazing. But she said this quote, and I said, you know what? That's what I'm gonna. That's me. One of the questions was, what is your key to success? And she said, doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's me. That's what I'm going into 2024. It's going to be my breakout year, and I'm going to start doing things that I don't want to do when I don't want to do it.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Doing when you don't want to do it, because that builds strength. That's growth. That builds muscle. I love that. In 2023, I'm leaving. Well, let me say 2023 has taught me so many different things, but I will say it reinforced some things also, to really allow God to lead, like for real, for real. And to know that I'm not running my life, right? And to be able, it taught me that God's timing is always going to be the best timing, no matter what I'm going through. He's still going to make provisions and make a way, even if all the blessings didn't come through, all the things didn't go right. That it's all purposeful and in line for my purpose. Really, that it was really, although I knew that, we all know that, it was really stress this year of alone time, whether you want to say isolation, whether you want to say focus, whatever the word that you want to use. It taught me that He is my source, period, right? It reinforced that. What I'm leaving behind is old news. I'm not talking about old news no more. What happened, if something bad happened in 2022 or 2023, I'm not talking about old news anymore, because God is doing a new thing. Isaiah 43:19 says, for I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it? It will make a pathway through the wilderness, right? So I'm looking at a new thing, right? The old thing is gone. What had happened was, this person did this person said that, this happened here, this happened there. I'm not telling the same stories that I told in 2023. It is a new thing happening, onward and upward. And you guys know I go by the Remix Coach. And when I go to the gym and the trainer, he calls me Remix. He done introduced me to every woman in the gym. This is Remix, y'all. This is Remix. And I'm like, I'm the Remix Coach. I say it's never too late to remix your life at any stage, age, or phase. But I never had remix as my word for the year, because everything that I'm doing, I'm remixing it. I'm remixing up how I'm looking at my faith. I'm remixing up how I do business. I'm remixing up myself, my personal care, whatever it is, anything that you can think of about life and in life. I'm remixing it. I'm doing it new. We know that insanity is doing the same thing the same way over and over and over again. Right? So I'm going to remix it. I'm going to dig the dirt up. We tossing stuff around in 2024. All right. So we have more, unleash, we have breakout, and we have what did Blossom say? Because I'm trying to condense it, because you said
closer. Move closer.
Exactly, closer. And Anthony, what was your word, and what are you expecting from 2024?
No matter what.
No matter what.
Yep. Get it done.
I love that. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting pretty much all the goals that I've been wanting to do, even getting closer with God. I have not actually used that this year. A
Yeah.
closer relationship with Him, you know, because He is the author and the finisher of my faith. You know, He is the one that
Mm-hmm.
gives us vision. He is the one that puts
Mm-hmm.
us in a position of demand, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so when we have our goals, is pretty much is what He's already designed us to be. We just gotta play
Amen.
out our part, you know. You
Amen.
know, this year me playing out the script that was written for me, no matter what.
Yeah, I love that. I've had some amazing times in 2023 when I look through my highlights and I'll post it like, how could I focus on what didn't happen when I had so many amazing blessings in 2023? From, going to see New Edition twice, going to see Bobby Brown. I done saw Usher. I was on TV1 this year. That was one of my goals and my dreams. So to be a commentator on TV1, I had a couple of journals and books come out. I got to talk to legends. I got to connect with people, and most importantly, in 2023, I thought I had a tight relationship with God for forever. But in 2023, my relationship had strengthened so much with God, and the connection to God had gotten so strong in 2023. Although I have achieved amazing things in 2023 and did some phenomenal things, and not so many good things, and dealt with a lot of stuff that y'all have no idea about. What I'm most grateful for, we can put all of that aside, outside of keeping my family here and all of that, but to my strengthening of my foundation in faith and connecting with God so much like never before. I understand why things hadn't happened or happened this way or that way. It was all to bring me to this point. So forget all the other stuff. That is my most sacred soft spot of 2023. All right, y'all. Wait, Aisha's still commenting. She in the car. Let's see what she says. And then, yes, please, I would love to have a personal invite to your premiere. All right. We need an invite, Blossom. We need an invite. And I still haven't gotten Steve Harvey. She's been asking me, if you ever get a chance to talk to Steve Harvey, I need Steve Harvey. But tell him what happened.
We got a meeting coming up in January. We had one 2 months ago in Atlanta, and it was beautiful. So we're getting ready to have our meeting in January to see when we're going to do another show. But God be the glory, they've been talking with the producers on Tubi. So God is just good. He's good. So I will keep you posted. I'll hit your inbox. Girl, look, this is when it's gonna come out. So I'll keep y'all posted. And it's just a blessing to be able to talk.
Is it safe to say, Leroy Anthony? Yeah. So is it safe to say, Leroy Anthony, Sheila, that we're going to support Blossom at her event? Is it safe to say that we can support her?
Yes.
See,
I'll make sure y'all get some popcorn. I'll make sure y'all get some popcorn and soda. I'll make sure you get popcorns and sodas, okay?
So sometimes the family ain't blood. It's all love. Sometimes that's what the family is.
That part.
All right, y'all. I want you to take a second and promote what you got going on for 2024. How can the people connect with you? How can they buy your services, your products, and all of that good stuff? Leroy?
So they can go to my link tree, http // linktr.ee/JNF Enterprises, and that'll give you the information on all of my products, all of my social media platforms, and everything like that, all of the products that we have, and then even I have some things that I'm working on, a couple of books for this year that are going to be coming out, and everything. So 2024 is about unleashing, so let's get ready.
I love that. Let's get ready, get ready, get ready. All right, Sheila, tell the people how they can listen to the podcast and everything else you got going on.
Okay, well, you can Sheila's Take podcast on. I am on Spotify, Amazon. I am on all streaming platforms, and I do the video, which is on YouTube. So you can find me at Sheila's Take. My Instagram, I have two, which is Sheila's _take, and then it's at Stunnie STUNIE 1, and that's Instagram. And believe it or not, I am writing a book, so I'm praying that that God lets me complete it by the end of this year. So that I'll let you know when that's out. And my website is SheilasTake.com. Get me there also.
Guess what, Sheila? Guess what, Sheila?
Yes. Guess what?
They say surround yourself by people who have done what you've done, so you can be in the room, so that can sprinkle off. Everybody on here has wrote a book right now.
Look at that.
Right now, everybody's an author. So we're going to say that you are an author because you have to speak it into existence. You are an author waiting to publish your book. How about that?
Amen. I receive it. I receive it.
All right, Anthony, how can they get in contact with you? How can they buy that compilation book? How can they support you in 2024?
It's going to be Anthony. I'm sorry, Anthony Washington is my Instagram, but it's Coach COACH _ Dub DUUB. They can contact me at 803-463-9537. I'm sorry, 9530. That is my phone number, and they can order the book through me that way.
Awesome. And you working on what you working on? Tell the people.
I'm working on my new book. It's going to be an autobiography. I'm not ready to disclose the name of it, but it's going to be Anthony Washington. It's going to be the Coach Dub story, but it's going to be another name awesome under that. That's going to be my full autobiography, and it's going to also be a documentary that follows the autobiography as well.
And remember that. So he gave a little taste. If you watch the interview he did with me on Kendéll Lenice Live right here on YouTube, check that out. You'll learn a little more about what he wrote about in his book and his childhood. Blossom, you heard her talk about her story, living under a bridge, 19 years, addicted, clean, right now, and filled with everything that God put in her. You can check out that interview right here on my YouTube channel as well. Leroy, well, y'all know y'all going to see him again because we always doing something. We cooking up stuff now, but season 6 of More Than Just a Movie will be released or filmed this month, and we got some other stuff cooking up. Sheila and I, we've been talking about working together, getting some stuff cooked up. You got to be on Kendéll Lenice Live. You're the only one out the whole panel that hasn't, so we got to make that happen to hear more about Sheila's journey.
Definitely. You know I'm there. Anything for you.
Yes. But you can check her out on my other podcast. You can check because you were on there. So we can talk about that where we call Verses on Verses. Let's break that down, where I break down scriptures in bite-sized pieces. Leroy's still waiting to be on there. But she is on there, and her episode was amazing on there. And also she went live with Leroy and I talking about relationships. You remember Leroy? That's the same Sheila. Absolutely. All right, everybody. It is a happy new year. I want to thank my panel, my guest, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., Blossom Rogers. I want to thank Sheila Dunbar, Anthony Washington, and Ahisha Kalima, who joined us for the majority of the show. We are walking in 2024 intentionally. We are not going by happenstance, circumstance. We're not going to move like the feathers, whatever way it takes us. We are going in intentionally. like Blossom said, you don't want, I'm going to put the quote up there because Ahisha put it up there and it's so impactful. I'm going to put it right up so you guys can see that, again. I do not want to have died, never lived. And she said, that's a statement right there. So you don't want all your ideas to go away with you when you are no longer here. You want to be able to achieve the goals in everything that you said that you wanted and you desired. You have to work towards that. You have to manifest that. You have to pray, about that. And you have to be a participant in your own life. You cannot sit back and watch life pass you by and then say, how come they got it? How come they this? Whatever God has for you, it is for you, but you still have to be a participant in your own life. If you have some goals and dreams, my latest podcast episode was Shine with Kendéll Lenice. It's all about that. I did a whole workshop on that. Check that out. And I also have a journal. And it's what are you asking God for? How do you do your part? Goals, goals, goals. This time next year, a year goal book. This is available. It's like $10.99 on Amazon, whether you get this for your goals or whether you have your own notebook or piece of paper. Make sure you write them down and you make them plain. Put the vision in front of you and do the work. Sheila has a goals notebook right there. Any successful person, right, there you go. Any successful person, any dream that you have, it has to start here. But then it has to be here in your heart. And then you have to write it down so you can look at it, so it can seep into your pores, and pray about that. I pray that everybody gets whatever they need, desire, and want for 2024. Make sure you know who gets the glory. Make sure you do the work. And most of all, allow joy to live in your heart this year. Have fun this year. Say yes to adventures. Say yes to things that you're normally afraid to do. Say yes. And I want you to live your life out loud and boldly. We're not being afraid. We're not being fearful. We're not going to be filled with anxiety. We are going to live free in 2024. God has brought us to this new year because we still have purpose. Remember that, y'all. Thank you so much. I know these panels go a little long, so I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you for your time, because time is one thing you cannot get back. So you being intentional about your time and being here, I am grateful and I am thankful for each and every one of you. Anybody else want to say something before we're out?
I want to say that
Y'all good?
I have 4 books: From Under Bridge 1, From Under Bridge 2, And They Laugh, and When They Laugh. We got to remember, we got 2 kinds of laughter. Are they laughing with you or at you? And you can find all my books on Barnes & Noble or Amazon. Thank you.
All right. All right, y'all. I want you to be well, be whole, be healthy, and be full with joy this new year. Celebrate. Tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you're thinking about them. Tell somebody that you got their back. You support them. You honor them. They are worthy. Speak life into people. It's so important to do that because you never know what somebody is going through, even today, the very first day of 2024. All right. Love y'all. Be well. God bless y'all. Peace. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. We are ending.